Hey, you know what's a real indication of health for a competitive online video game? When genuinely now making fun of the game is more enjoyable than actually playing it. But we had a new patch for Tekken 7 yesterday. It came kind of out of the blue. I was playing the game when it happened. I was in the lobby and not getting any matches, so I turned my game off, turned it back on, and there was an update. So at first I'm really excited, right, because I thought it might be balance changes. Have they finally increased the whiff recovery of electrics like they should? But it was none of that. It was actually difficult to find out what the patch had done. As far as I know, as of the recording of this video, there has been no communication from Namco in English about what the patch did, but I found some patch notes. They basically said improved stability, improved online stability, stability, and then something about anti-cheat and crashing, which is of course great because anti-cheat and, less crashing and better online are like the major changes that this game has needed for many years. The thing about getting like updates and promises from Namco these days though is the first thing I always think is it though? The game has rollback netcode. It's 3, but it's like, is it though? We're gonna ban cheaters in Season 4, but it's like, are you though? So far, I don't think Namco has delivered on a single promise made in any update to the game, so I think it's fair game to be kind of skeptical when they tell you things at this point. So first thing I wanted to do was to go back online and play a couple of matches because I wanted to see if I could tell that there was a difference in the netcode or the stability. Now this is sample size 1, but as far as I can tell, the netcode and the connection quality is at least as bad, if not worse, than it was before. When you've played a game for a long time, you kind of get used to the way that it's shitty. You have a feel for it. I was getting lag spikes yesterday that felt very different. It wasn't the same kind of stuttering that we've had in the past. It felt weird, it felt different, and I at least felt like it was happening more often. And I just wanted to show you an example real quick. I am at least empirical in my approach to talking shit, but I played a match against this guy called Melee Backdash. And as you can tell right here, 3 seconds into the first round, the match ends and we get this error message saying, due to abnormalities, the match has been cancelled. Now, I want to be clear, Melee Backdash, first of all, he's not in Malaysia, he's actually in Europe, as far as I know, so very far away from where I am in Japan, but he's not a cheater or a plugger or anything like that. I've played him in the past and the match was fine. So I think this is just a generic message that comes up when a match ends for some reason now, and in this case it was connection instability causing a desync, as far as I can tell. The really interesting thing is a couple of minutes later we match up again, this time on a 4-bar connection, and the match is fine for the most part, but then we had severe and really terrible spikes, mostly during combos, making the game almost unplayable. We managed to play it out, but it didn't feel good at all. It was a very poor quality match, but you can see that it's hugely inconsistent, so stability isn't exactly the word I would use to describe it. But that's me, it could have something to do with my ISP or whatever. So this morning I went around the internet, I read, forums and Twitter, and it seems to be the case that a lot of people all across the world are experiencing online deteriorating after this update, which is so interesting because it was already kind of the laughingstock of online modes in modern fighting games. And it's almost like we have to start speculating on whether or not Namco are serious. Is it like somebody intentionally making a shitty B movie and seeing what they can get away with and how much money they can make back? Is it like, if they are genuinely doing their best to improve this game, and this is what is happening 7 years after release with bad netcode, the incompetence is so far through the roof that it's in a different galaxy at this point, which is, it's just getting really silly. But what about anti-cheat bans and crashing? I had more crashes yesterday than I've had at any time in the past. That might be a complete coincidence, but you know how I've complained in the past about how I get crashes when I tab out of the game because I always listen to podcasts or music when I play the game. I don't really enjoy the in-game music, and I want to hear the sound cues of like big lows and stuff. So I tab out a lot, changing, playlists and whatever I'm listening to. and the game crashes famously when you do that. A new thing that started happening only this week is the game now sometimes crashes when I tab back in, which is even worse because a match starts and your character is doing their little intro thing, and I tab back in and it crashes when the game has already started, which means when I start the game back up, I get penalized. I get a penalty and I get like disconnection percent, even though I haven't been disconnecting intentionally. The game has been breaking. Which is really weird. So crashing doesn't seem to be any better as far as I can tell. And then anti-cheat. Well, I had some crashes yesterday that would be interpreted by the game as me plugging, and when I logged back in, the exact same thing that happened before is happening. I also had a desync when my opponent desynced or disconnected right after the final hit, when the progress bar for ranking points had already moved, and going back in, I still had the points for that win, even though the match had been cancelled due to abnormalities after that. So as far as I can tell, that part is the exact same as before. Now, in terms of anti-cheat, it seems like the main thing they were trying to do with this patch is prevent manipulation of the health bar. Saw a lot of information about that, but that's also caused some interesting problems. In my little intro right there was a tweet from somebody who actually got their match cancelled when there was no actual abnormality, but it seems what happened was rage activated after the final hit, after the KO, and that caused the game to believe that there had been health bar manipulation somehow, and the matches got cancelled even though it was absolutely fine. I didn't 100% understand how you make that happen. I tried to replicate it, but I haven't been able so far. But for example, I should have tested this actually. What if you do like the one-hit kill move with Jack or Miguel, and you just, erase a life bar in a single hit? Is that going to look like some sort of manipulation and cause a desync at this point? I don't know, but it obviously isn't a perfect implementation of that either. You run into somebody who's using a life bar hack maybe, at the most once or twice a day. I think probably less for most people, at least for me. But if the netcode is poor and the connection quality is getting bad, then that's going to ruin pretty much every match you play. So that's pretty alarming. Right now, I mean, your house is burning, Namco. If the quality is this bad for all the people in the world who play this game right now, then you are probably losing regular players by the minute, and this needs to be fixed so quickly. If you go to the Tekken Project Twitter, you have a bunch of comments saying just reverse this patch for now. Please just take away whatever you did because it's worse than before. And that's obviously step one, and then start working on a patch that can actually fix these things without making the game worse. But the fact that you have not figured that out when it should have been the top priority of everybody working on the entire project for years now, I mean, it's funny to the point where, like, again, I have to start thinking, is it an actual intentional joke? Is it actual like hatred and condescension of the community somehow? It's kind of fascinating. But there you go. I'm gonna stop recording this video and actually play some online now. I want to see if something has happened since yesterday. Obviously, if we can get a patch at some point that doesn't make the connection quality worse, but does deal with cheating and stability and pluggers, that's absolutely fantastic. So it is good that they are working on something like that. I don't really buy this thing of, it's really difficult and we don't have enough money or whatever anymore, because it's like, one of the most successful fighting games of all time. And I think quality this poor, this far into the lifespan of the game, it's completely inexcusable. If you just take this patch away, yes, people will make fun of you for doing that, like when you removed homing hell sweeps after putting them in, but don't worry, people are already making fun of you all the time. So no difference there. Thank you so much for watching this short update. One of the main reasons I wanted to record this quick video is I want to know what's going on, like, with you guys and in the world, because this is still really new and I don't have all the information. So any experiences, any information, anything you've heard or seen, any clips you have, put it all in the comments, because I want to sort of get to the bottom of what's actually happening. And then if there's some sort of new update, I'll keep you posted. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys again very soon.